Hi, this is Alex from phpacademy.org with a video tutorial for the new Boston. Now in the last couple of videos we've looked at append and append to. However, now we're going to take a look at an example application which is going to use append to append things to a drop-down list, an HTML drop-down list. So essentially what we're doing is we're creating a series of links, so 3 links, and when these links are clicked, the value of these links will be added to the drop-down box to create each option as we go. So this is an example of the script. When we click on bread, sugar or tea, so if we click on bread, it will then become available in this drop-down list. When we click on sugar, it will also become available in this drop-down list because we're appending an option onto the end of the select element in HTML. So let's take a look at the code. Now we have append.js included in our file. That's extremely important. We're going to be writing out the code inside of there. It's extremely short, but it's a much better example than just showing appending normal text. It makes the overall use of this seem a lot more useful in everyday applications. Okay, so let's first of all create our links. So I'm going to create these just inside a paragraph tag. We can copy and paste them. So the first one I'll just put bread, and the href is nothing. The class of this is going to be link, as is all the others. So we're going to keep the same class name, but we're going to use the this keyword to reference each object. So the next will be sugar, and then we have tea. So we've used the class link, and what this is going to do is it's going to identify all of these as clickable links. We're going to call an event handler in append.js to check for the clicking of these links. We're then going to use the text attribute to actually take the text inside from this link, and then we're going to add it to a drop-down box just here. Let's go ahead and create this drop-down box. I'm going to say give it a name of list, and then end the selection there. Now we don't need to provide any options in here, because what's going to be happening is these options that you would usually specify are going to be appended on for us. So eventually we're going to end up with a list that looks like this, with bread, sugar and tea. However, we're going to let jQuery do this for us as we click the list. So essentially what the user is doing is defining their own list. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the code. We first of all need to create an event handler for each of these links. So we've called this link, this class link. So for each one of these links we can use .link, and when we click on one of these links we want to carry out a function. Let's bring that down a bit. So inside of this function we want to first of all take the value from the link itself. So I'm going to create a variable called item. Now we need to go ahead and reference the actual link itself. However, we can't use link because I'll show you what happens. Let's go ahead and choose .link, and then we use the .val function to grab the value from, we use the .text to grab the value from this link. Now you'll see what happens in this case when we click on an element. Let's see what we've done wrong here. Okay, yeah, so we need to alert out item for debugging. Okay, so now that we've alerted that out, let's go ahead and click on a link. Now you can see that we've got bread, sugar and tea combined. This is because we can't refer to this as .link because we have the same element name for each one, or the element class for each one, and therefore we just use this, and this just takes the currently clicked element. So now what we do is when we click sugar we have the value sugar, when we click tea we have the value tea, when we click bread we have the value bread. So now that we know that this item holds the currently clicked, this item variable holds the currently clicked value, we can go ahead and do something with it. So obviously what we want to do is append this to the options inside of this select list. So we're going to need to use the append manipulator in jQuery. So we're going to go ahead and say list. Remember we called our list list. Then we're going to say dot append. And what do we want to append on? Well, we want to append on the item, however this isn't valid HTML. If we were to use the list like this, click sugar, nothing really happens because we haven't chosen the option tags around it. So what we need to do is we need to create some option tags. So we're appending on the item after this option tag here using the plus, and then we go ahead and plus the ending option tag. So earlier I showed you like this code here inside this code here, and what we're doing is every time we click on a link, this is appending down until we have filled the list. Okay, so let's go ahead and test this in our browser. Let's just bring that up a bit. When we click bread, now you can see that the element has been added, or the option element has been added inside of here, and we now have bread in the drop down list. When I click sugar, that's added to the list as well, and then when I click tea, that's finally added to the list. We can obviously then go and add the same one over again. However, you could probably kind of try and come up with a way to check the current elements in there and then maybe put ×2 on the end of it. That's not for this tutorial, but that's a more useful example of the append manipulation in jQuery.